Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 56 of Shattered Image, and this one is titled A Stressed Sero. I know how to seduce you to keep you from doing that, you said as you reached out and across and grabbed his tie and pulled him into you while you stopped it facing him, your lips almost touching his. And now what are you going to do? Sero was frozen in place, your body pressed to his front and your lips almost on his. It was all too much and he forgot how to human. You held your position for 3 seconds and then stepped back and let his tie go, laughing as you did so and spinning around. Ha! You couldn't do a thing, you called out with joy. That was so unfair, he wailed playfully. You know I'm into you. Don't do that. You giggled, your heart aflutter as you ran to get to the next classroom. No running in the halls, Yin! You heard Ida call from well behind you, and you spun around to poke your tongue out at him. You can't stop me! You called playfully with a grin on your face. You were so captivating that morning. It's like you had a light shining out of you. Your smile, your giggle, everything about you was just beautiful, and Sero smiled dreamily as he followed you in a daze into the room, fully ignoring Ida spluttering away in the background. Nothing can bring me down today, you thought as you entered and took your seat, not looking at Sero, who you could feel was watching you. I've got this boy head over heels for me, and I love it. You smiled to yourself as you sat there. Just then, Present Mike came in and pointed at everyone. Hey! It's about to get loud up in here. I want you to get into groups of 3. Yun, Sero called immediately from his seat. You and me? Not so fast, Present Mike called upon hearing Sero call to you. You need to work with your neighbours on your left and the neighbour on your right. Hey! Your face dropped. What? You said bluntly, looking to your left and seeing a floating shirt. You didn't even know what the girl's name was, but she was invisible and you could have cared less about her. And then you looked to your right, to that chick who was into a few bands that you were into, but you didn't know her name. The girl who liked some of the bands that you liked looked across at you and nodded with a small smile, and you had to heavily refrain from scowling back at her. Here we go, she's going to try and be my best friend. You sulked internally, looking back to the front and slouching your chin into your palm. Okay, Present Mike called. We're going to practice ordering in English. One person in the group needs to be the chef, one needs to be the waitress or waiter, and one needs to play customer, he directed. Keep to the script though, listeners. Don't go making up wild things. The only thing getting wild in here is going to be me if these girls piss me off, you thought. You scowled and huffed through your nose, and Sero sat there looking at you with a worried expression on his face. Oh, this is not good. She's not ready to be thrust into a group of 3, he thought, silently fretting over it. Either side of Sero were Kiri and Denki. Denki had initially looked across at the 2 boys when the orders had been given to get into groups of 3, and he'd been stoked to see who he was paired with, but had noticed the worried look on Sero's face, and then he had looked at you. Oh, he wants to be with his little girlfriend, Denki had thought. I don't know if Yin's going to play nice with these girls. Once Present Mike had given full instruction, he then let you discuss your roles amongst yourselves, and you sat back with arms crossed and refused to look at either of the girls beside you. Hagakure, the floating shirt, looked at you, and then passed you to Jirou, and Jirou looked at you, and then passed you to Hagakure. Then silence hung over all 3 of you. Sero said, going to stand up to interject and help somehow, but Denki quickly jumped up and grabbed him by the arm. Hey, let's see what happens, he whispered. Bro, you can't always jump in. Let's see what she does. Sero relinquished and slowly sat back down in his chair, but his eyes never left you, and he sat there with bated breath, almost praying that you would just play nice and do what was asked of you. Finally, Jirou spoke. Hey, she said as she turned in her chair and faced you. Okay, so we need a chef, a waitress, and a customer. Who do you want to be in? You shrugged, not looking at her. Oh, I'll be the customer, Hagakure said, raising her arm up, her sleeve indicating that she had done so. Okay, I'll be the waitress, Jirou said. So you're the chef, Yin, she added. Fine, you replied coldly. Both Jirou and Hagakure looked at each other. This was going to be difficult. Okay, we need to come up with a script so that we all know what we're doing, Jirou said, turning back to her desk to pick up her books and bring it over closer to your desk. Hagakure, too, scooted closer to your desk on the other side, with her chair, and you felt very claustrophobic as they closed in on you. Okay, we need to work out what we're ordering on the supposed menu. Let's pick easy things, Jirou added. Any thoughts, Yin? You're the chef. Dunno, who cares? You replied coldly. Sero went to stand up again, but Denki pulled him down again. Bro was listening in, and he was sweating buckets from his seat. You were not happy. Jirou was having a hard time, and so had to rely on Hagakure most of the time, since you obviously wanted nothing to do with her. Between the two of them, they got the first part of the script done, and were discussing common phrases used between customer and waitress, and then it came time to try and include you again. They would usually ask what the specials of the day was, right? Hagakure asked. I would ask that, as the customer. And then I guess my reply would be, let me check with the chef, right? Jirou replied, and then she looked at you. Okay, so then I come to you and ask you, and you have to tell me the specials for the day. She said, this is so stupid, you thought, the scowl on your face showing your disdain enough. Jirou sighed when you didn't say anything. We could ask for a different person since you don't like us, she said softly. You looked at her. She looked hurt, and you don't know why, but you didn't like that. Somewhere deep down, you knew that you were being a stubborn asshole and making life harder for these girls, and truth be told, they had never done anything to you to make you think that they were not nice. You hadn't even given them a real chance. Okay, fine. Soup and bread, I don't know. What restaurant is this? You asked. Oh, I didn't even think of the cuisine, Jirou said with low-key surprise. Do like ramen or something. At least I know ramen, you mumbled with a scowl. Oh, I love ramen, Hagakure said. There's a small ramen shop in town and they serve really good ramen. Oh, really? Jirou asked. Where is it? End of town, Hagakure replied. Yeah, I've been there with Henta, you said, and both girls just looked at you. Sero, I mean. You corrected yourself quickly, but they had both heard you and were still just staring at you. Anyway, ramen. Okay, so specials for ramen. Just put, like, special seafood one and, like, an extra spicy one or something. Okay, Jirou said as she wrote it down on the paper. Hagakure was still secretly fangirling over the fact that you had called Sero by his first name, but had to come to her senses quickly so that she could add in her own input. Well, how about I say that I'd like the special, she said, the seafood one. Jirou nodded as she wrote it down. Allergies, you suddenly said. That's something else that the customer would ask for. Allergen list if she has allergies. Oh, yeah, Jirou said. Hagakure, are you going to pretend to have allergies? I guess, Hagakure replied. Should I be allergic to something in the special seafood ramen? Yeah, Jirou said. Oh, I'll be allergic to seafood, Hagakure said. Then she quickly stopped. Wait, no, she said, and you snorted. You can't be allergic to seafood yet order a seafood special, you said, finding that amusing. No, say you're allergic to green onion or something. Oh yeah, that's good, Hagakure said, while Jirou wrote it down. See, she's okay, Denki whispered to Sero, both boys watching your girl group keenly. Guys? Kiri asked. What's happening? Why are you watching the girls? Kiri being clueless as always, stay tuned for the next chapter, chapter 57, coming tomorrow. See you then!